Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Concord Township Zoning Commission meeting for May 2nd, 2023. Heather, could you call the roll, please?
Sure. Mr. Eiffelise?
Here.
Mr. Lingenfelter?
Here.
Mr. Ruppert?
Here.
Mr. Schindler?
Here.
And Mr. Peterson.
Here. Okay, we have one major item on the agenda tonight, which is a site plan review. But before we get there, we have a couple agenda items that we have to clean up here. First of all, the approval of the April 4th meeting minutes from that meeting last month. Any comments on the minutes as written?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Anybody? Myron?
No comments.
Wow. So everyone's good on that. Do I have a motion to
I'll
approve?
make a motion to approve the minutes of April the 4th.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Okay. A motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And I'm going to abstain because I wasn't here last month. Any correspondence? And I'll start with you, Frank. Anything?
None, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Hiram?
None, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Andy?
As a matter of fact, I did. I had two correspondences, not one, two. I heard from a John Stamberger. He sent me an email a couple weeks ago. He had heard that the part of Quail Hollow Golf Course was going up for sale, and that the component that was going to be sold was going to be turned into a housing development. So I said, really?
It's news to us.
I said, that's interesting. I said, I haven't seen anything come in front of the board for a request for a rezone. I said, because it's a part of the PUD, and if there was anything going on, I said, we would know about it.
Right.
And he said, well, I heard that they were going to sell it, that there was a new company that was taking over Quail Hollow, and they were going to take one of the golf courses and turn it into a housing development. I said, I don't think that's going to happen, but I said, you know, if you want to confirm that, you might want to call Heather Freeman at Town Hall to check on that. And I think he did. And he got back to me and he said, yeah, he goes, that's not true. And I said, good, well, that's good to know.
Good rumor, though.
So he was concerned about that development going in. And then I received an email from a Brent Havanchak. Brent he's evidently buying a business or buying a building here in Concord, bringing a business in. And he has some questions about what he had to do as far as making changes to the building and things of that nature. And I, again, dutifully pointed him towards Heather and said, call Heather. If there's anything you have to do, she'll be able to walk you through the process and help you out. And he was very appreciative and thanked me for steering him in the right direction. So that was my correspondence.
Very good. Thank you, Andy.
Yep.
Rich, anything?
Nothing for me, Mr.
Okay.
Chairman.
Very good. And I had nothing myself. That takes us to public participation, and I don't think you're here for that portion of it. So we have no public present, and I assume nobody on the phone. So we'll go past that and get to our main item tonight, which is new business. And I'm going to read this. It's a site plan review application number 56, submitted by HSB Architects and Engineers for a new building that will house their public safety training facilities and classrooms, and the Board of Education Central Office for the Auburn Career Center, located at 10985 Girdle Road, also known as current parcel number 08A021-0-00-007-0. And with that in mind, we on the board have in front of us a number of documents that we use in our discussion tonight. Number one, we have the actual site plan application, which was submitted. We have a letter from the Auburn Career Center kind of defining the project in general. We have a letter from the Lake County Department of Utilities basically saying that sewer services would be available. And we have a letter from the Painesville Water Department that said water is available providing 4,000 gallons a day are not exceeded. So I guess I'll let you guys address that. And then finally, two other items we do have. We have a packet in front of us which has all the associated drawings and profiles and so forth that we can refer to during our discussion. And then finally, we have a document from our own zoning department with recommendations. And in this document, there are comments that come from a number of sources: the Lake County Stormwater Management has comments in here. The Lake County Engineer Department has comments in here. The Concord Township Fire Department has comments, and of course our zoning staff has comments. And I think it's kind of neatly summarized in the section of staff recommendation where it does recommend a conditional approval, but there are a number of items, 10 of which that have to be discussed and agreed to before such approval can be granted. Do you have that document from the staff? Okay, so you do. So with that in mind, first of all, any discussion on the board before we call one of these gentlemen forward? Okay, so we'd like to hear. So who would like to be the spokesman for the group here to step forward? Could you state your name and address for the record, please? And tell us what you're doing.
Hello, everyone. I'm Gabriel Fay with HSB Architects. I'm architect and principal there. Our address is 1250 Old River Road, Suite 201 in Cleveland, Ohio, 44113. I, along with Andre at my office, are the primary project leads on the architectural side. Also here with me, I have Doug, our civil engineer, which will probably come into play with some of the more specific details about utilities. And then also here as the owner's representative and construction manager, I have Dale here as well. We did note, if needed, we can also call Jeff with the Auburn Career Center as needed, but I think we should be able to field everything we have here. So, as you mentioned, there's been a lot of extensive documentation. I'll maybe give just a brief 5-minute synopsis just to kind of level set everybody with where we're at currently, and then we can maybe delve into the specifics of the project and then also some of the notable items or conditions that we want to discuss. So to kind of bring it back to the origins of the project, I think everyone here is familiar with Auburn Career Center. Post-pandemic, they've had a large uptick in enrollment, which is a good thing. It's a good problem to have. And as a result, a portion of their uptick has been focused on their public safety training curriculum, essentially. So their goal was to give a dedicated building space to add additional classrooms that are primarily dedicated for those curriculum items, dedicating classrooms to that and the associated apparatus bay for fire truck learning and usage. And then also there's a business area that's associated for administrative that's associated with Auburn Career Center, specifically for the new building and also some supplemental to the existing facilities that they have. So what that netted in was a new building on their existing 26-acre parcel, new building of around 15,000 square feet. Primary use is education, but again, the adjacent uses of storage, S1, and B business for the administrative area. Based on the local zoning codes, we have in the packet that was submitted a breakdown of the parking analysis for the zoning requirements that you'll see. We had a lot of good back and forth with Heather, making sure that we were in alignment. Based off our interpretation and our use group and occupancy, we have a total of 59 spaces required. And as you can see in the civil plan, we are proposing 59 parking spaces, as you can see on the site. So we believe ourselves to be compliant there. Also in the package is pretty extensive civil and utility and site documentation that maybe we'll dovetail into here shortly. But from an architectural standpoint, we also have some pretty detailed breakdown of the proposed signage locations, so we can help establish and make sure we're all aligned with the primary criteria that we want to follow for proposed signage on the new building. And again, there was some back and forth confirming that we were in compliance there with our primary facade and allowable square footage. So we have a detailed a document there that shows spacing, signage, and allowable square footage. I believe in the site report there was a comment potentially about how that would be lit or not lit, which I think we're on the same page with there. But so we would be looking to get approval or conditional approval to some extent on that signage as a part of the building as well. The other supplemental piece that hasn't been submitted prior, but you've seen the renderings. I've also brought some physical samples with us here showing some of the masonry and the proposed metal panel that would be going on the building. Again, with that rendering, so you can kind of get a good glimpse of what's being proposed here.
What happened to our easel?
Oh, we have it still. I didn't know we were going to need it right now. Did you want me to get
I
it?
can't see it.
Oh. I can hold it it up here for the time being. So with that, I guess I'll pause and see if anybody has any initial questions or, you know, what's being proposed, any potential issues that we want to start with, or if there's any specific areas that we want to delve into first.
I have a few comments on the drawings, but is that now or later?
Later.
Well, you could ask it, unless it's engineering related.
Yeah, it
I guess
is.
that would be Doug, right?
Yeah, I mean,
so-
Doug, you want to come up maybe and just give a brief overview from a civil perspective? I know there's been pretty extensive conversations with a lot of the entities that you mentioned already,
Okay.
a lot of which have already been addressed. So maybe if you want to just give a brief overview of that. Sure. I'll be our live.
Okay, very good. The easel.
Your name is now Easel.
Good evening, gentlemen. I'm Doug Courtney, CW Courtney Company, 700 Beta Drive, Suite 200 in Mayfield Village, Ohio. We are the civil designers for the project. Just a quick overview on the civil side of things. We're designing 2 parking fields to support the building. The larger parking field is about 47 spaces, the smaller one 12 for administrative staff. Stormwater management is being handled on the west side of the building in an open wet detention pond. Sanitary service is being handled through what will likely be a lift station to discharge the sewage where the horticulture center discharges now. So it gets pushed across the land bridge and back up to the main campus and out to Auburn Road. And we are diligently working on the comments from Lake County Stormwater. So they had quite a few. I think it's going to be, parking areas are going to be curbed. I think that more or less covers the basics of the civil design.
Okay, and Hiram, you had specific questions?
Yeah, I'm on, what page am I on? Jeez, I don't even know. Grading. I'm on sheet 7 of 12. On the grading and drainage plan. I see here that on the parking lot, there is a 12-inch pipe going to a 6x3x18 for channel protection on the left-hand side of that drawing. And then coming from the truck bay, there's a 6-inch pipe going to a much larger channel protection. Doesn't seem logical to me.
Okay.
6-inch pipe going to a 12x3x18 and a 12-inch pipe going to a 6x3x18. Seems like it's flip-flopped. But just take that as a comment.
I will.
The other comment I have, don't we have to have an oil separator in that truck bay?
The oil separator is just outside the truck bay on the sanitary line.
In that
In
administrative
the
lot
administrative lot.
to the right of the building, it'll be hard pipe below.
Oh, is that coming from the truck bay?
Yes, that's the intent.
Okay, is that shown on that page?
That is shown on sheet 7. Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't show the path dashed to the actual apparatus bay, which I guess we can clarify that.
Okay, but we do have an oil separator coming from the truck bay.
Correct.
Okay. And then on page A1 or A1.0, just 2 simple comments, well, 2 or 3. Number 1, there's no north hour shown, but that's something we can figure out.
Yep.
And then on E4, on building column lines E4, there's an office labeled thing. What's thing?
It's my twisted sense of humor, sir.
Okay.
I'm the owner's rep, Dale Griffiths, from Harper Building Company out of Chardon. And I've been working with these folks for about 10 years now. So, just like you guys have a reputation, friends, you tend to get a reputation. So when I was originally drawing the building up, I put the head guy, Brian's office, I put the chief poobah from Flintstones.
Okay.
And then his number 1 and number 2 behind him, I put thing 1 and thing 2. Little.
Okay.
So just my sense of humor there. Okay. There will actually be no thing in there.
There won't be anything in there. And then catty corner to that, it has a 24 or 42 by 96 table, but it's backwards. Do you see that?
Yep, yeah, the conference table got mirrored.
Oh, it did? Okay.
Yeah, it got mirrored
Okay.
to the CAD block.
I just thought that was kind of cute. So, but I like the thing. Those are the only comments I have. I went through the.
Okay. Any other comments on the board here?
Just in case you guys think that nobody pays attention to the drawings when you hand them out.
Good to know.
These guys are,
Nothing gets by.
Yeah, Mr. Forgot. Gabriel, so big picture, were they not here? You were doing a fire safety training on Auburn Road? That facility Auburn was doing on the east side?
Went into a trailer.
No, you were taking homes out on the east side of, everybody's looking at me like I don't remember.
Yeah,
Right?
on the east side of Auburn Road, just by the TLC building. They were
Yeah,
gonna-
there was
They were gonna rehab that house.
Yeah.
That project was canceled,
So
wasn't
was
it?
that
Yeah, they
canceled?
strapped
Right,
up.
and that facility was actually added on the north end of this property,
Right.
if you recall.
Right.
Oh,
We were
okay.
approved it
late last
We
year
approved
for that
that's-
one, I think.
Okay, so nothing's going over on the east side then?
Nothing is on the east side.
Yeah.
Right.
No, nothing. That site remains the same. It's cleaned up.
Yeah,
They they don't bring vehicles over there, but they do practice like carrying the hoses around to the house and stuff like that. If you drive by, you'll see the gutters are protected with some locations with some yellow steel. That's so when they slam the ladders up against them, they don't hurt the gutters to keep those in place. But they do some foot drills over there. But in the meantime, from when that was looked at to what we're putting in now, where Doug's talking about, they got some more money from a grant. And that allowed them to buy the C-trailer training facility. They got the variance for, and
okay.
so that's where it's at now.
Okay, thank you for that. This is an impressive training center out here. So, just conceptually, Doug, this is a wet pond?
Yes,
Is it gonna be used for, are they drawing water, this fire training, are they using it
no.
at all? No?
No.
Oh, okay. But it's designed to have, like,
It's designed to have
Yeah.
a few feet of water.
yeah. So, it couldn't go to the existing one, or it couldn't enlarge the drainage?
The two separate drainage
Yeah, I figured,
basins.
looking at
Yeah,
it,
the
so,
existing pond discharges to the north.
to the north, this one
This area
goes
discharges to the west.
to the west. Yeah, I saw that. So, but then the street drainage is coming around to the existing pond.
It is.
Yeah,
So that street drainage right now gets captured in the roadside ditch and runs along the south side of the existing parking lot into the existing pond.
Oh,
So
okay.
we obeyed that drainage pattern.
Okay.
And then everything that we're taking from pervious area to impervious area, we're managing the stormwater in the new pond.
got it.
And the
So,
school does use the old pond for irrigation.
for irrigation?
Yeah, so it's a static level pond, and they draw down from it for irrigation.
For irrigation, but this will be strictly
Stormwater management.
stormwater management, but it'll have I think, a couple feet of water.
It'll have a, yeah, I think we're making some changes to the plans. So we made the pool depth a little deeper. With the revisions.
Okay. And so the embankment, well, geez, you are remote, so I don't think there's any public safety concerns here back here. You are a public safety training center after all. That's what it is. So if anybody would know, you would put a fence around it, but there's nobody. Anyway, that's all I have,
Okay,
Mr. Chairman.
thank you. Thanks, Rich. Anything else on the board here?
Two questions. First of all, I assume all of the comments from the departments are going to be addressed and taken care of.
Yes, we're taking care of those as,
Okay.
We'll go through the main comments here.
Curiosity, is this training center going to be open for access from other communities that would come here to use it, or just strictly our local area here?
So the primary use of the building as a whole is similar to their, it's essentially the same as their current operations, where it's operating as a classroom use for Auburn Career Center, and that apparatus bay that has the 3 garage doors and has room for technically 3 fire trucks. The main intent is to have 2 trucks in there and then an empty bay space to walk the individuals around and kind of teach them about the truck. They learn about the truck, and that's kind of an active classroom use essentially in person. So that is the dedicated use for it. Now there may be a grand opening event or very periodic uses, but that's 99.9% of the time the intended use.
Surrounding one of the draws and one of the reasons a lot of the surrounding fire chiefs are happy about it is that the other part that we talked about that has the sea trailer training area in the burn building where they have active fires and stairwells to go up and stuff like that. That's where some other fire departments might come and train on that. There's an asphalt area out there that has a certain course, and you have to certify and get through that course in a certain time to be a fireman. So there's different tasks that go out there. So that's the part that the surrounding fire departments would come and utilize. Not necessarily the school building, albeit there might be some adult classes in here, just as with any career center. But the surrounding fire department's training area is that other area that we drew and submitted and got approved last year.
And to clarify, there will be no doubling up on that use. So that current, to the north is space where they're actually doing that fire training using fire hoses and the water. And this is to speak to some of the comments that we'll get into here. Right. They are not doubling up. That's not repeating itself on this site. This site is not actively using, practicing testing fire hoses and things of that nature. The primary use of this building is the classroom and the learning in the apparatus bay that's occurring around the trucks. There's a couple hose bibs that we're proposing, but just for normal truck washing and things of that nature. But there's no doubling up of that intended use. So that existing use on the north side is going to remain exactly as is, and this is completely independent.
So your use would never approach 4,000 gallons a day?
That's correct. Correct. Yep.
That's if you left every faucet, every toilet, everything running all day long. The biggest
All at the
piece of
same
water,
time.
the biggest piece of water using equipment is going to be a hose cleaner, which is basically a power washer.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, anybody else? Andy, anything? Okay, is there anything else before we go through these lists of items that be corrected that you want to present to us, or you can probably take a break on your arm there, Ted.
Yeah, I think that pretty much covers
Okay,
everything in detail.
okay. Well, I think that because there's only 10 items here, that it kind of boils down. Heather incorporated comments from the other agencies. And so I think we're mainly concerned with the 10 that she's recommending to us that are required for us to approve the project. And number 1 is update your plans to provide one zoning data block only. Update zoning data block on the title sheets as follows, and it goes into A, B, C, D. You see that on there, item number 1?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Is that a concern or any kind of a problem for you?
No.
Okay, so that'll be done?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Item 2 then says revise the proposed south parking lot to meet the minimum 10% interior parking lot landscaping requirement for the south parking lot is met. Landscape islands shall be provided at the end of the 2 parking aisles and contain a shade tree. Provide exhibit with area calculations used for parking area and area for interior parking lot landscaping.
No problems.
No problem, okay. Item 3, clarify on your plans that the proposed parking lots shall be improved with asphalt or concrete, not gravel.
We will clarify.
Which is it gonna be, do you know? Is it gonna
Asphalt.
be asphalt?
Yes,
Okay, so it's going to be asphalt. Okay. Number 4, revise your landscaping plan to A, provide a legend indicating specific types and quantities of trees, shrubs, and grasses proposed on the site. Label on the plan the specific materials being used, and then B, use only Norway spruces to screen the south side of the larger parking lot. C, add Norway spruces to screen the west side of the larger parking lot. Spacing shall be similarly as proposed on the south side. So you're good with that?
Yeah, I've already spoken to the landscape architect. He has reviewed the comments. He had no
Okay.
issues.
Very good. Then item 5, revise the 2 proposed cabinet wall signs from illuminated cabinets to non-illuminated white channel letters only to match the existing signage on the remainder of the Auburn campus.
No issues there. We can.
You're going to do that. Okay. 6 is to revise the proposed signage over the doorways to be non-illuminated and use the same non-illuminated white channel letters, which is very similar to 5.
Yep.
Okay. 7, provide a timetable and schedule for the development of the site. You'll have that, or you do have it?
I don't know. We probably have a high level to date that we could provide, or
Yeah, I'd prefer if you put a boot in them too, if you could.
It will be provided.
Okay, very good.
Our general plan is to begin in, June and have about a 12-month
Okay,
construction period, sir.
very good. Number 8 is to revise your utility plan to show existing and proposed electric and gas lines.
We will revise.
Okay, you will revise, okay. Number 9, revise your final plans addressing the above-mentioned comments from Stormwater Management Department, which you have. And that will be done?
That will be done.
Okay. And then finally, revise your final plans addressing the above-mentioned comments from the Lake County engineer, which are in the same report.
That will
And
be
those
done
will be
as well.
addressed. Okay. So it doesn't appear there's anything there that can't or won't be done. So with that in mind, any other comments here on the commission as far as anything else contained in here? Nobody has anything?
Mr. Chairman, only to ask Heather, in terms of architectural code, is there any element here that's been, I see nothing regarding architectural. No
Being
issues?
that this is in the R1 district, it does not have a separate design
Doesn't
review
have it,
like
okay.
most of the other commercial stuff
Okay,
that we have. reviewed,
that's it,
so,
thank you.
yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
Just one vote.
Any questions on the board for these gentlemen? Okay, thank you, guys.
thank you.
I'll entertain a motion to conditionally approve the project.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we conditionally approve the site plan for Auburn Career Center, application number 056, with the staff recommended comments.
Very good. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Rich. We have a motion. We have a second. Heather, could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Reppert,
Yes.
Mr. Lingenfelter,
Yes.
Mr. Schindler,
Yes.
Mr. Eiffelise.
Yes.
Mr. Peterson.
Yes. So with 5 yeses, your project is conditionally approved. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and a special thank you to Heather for all of your efforts and coordination. Very helpful.
Yeah, she's very helpful to everybody. I know you guys know that, but I'll still say it anyway. And thank you on behalf of our Career Center. Like I said, enrollment's gone way up, and they're doing their best to see what they can do to make sure that anybody that wants a viable career path through that school is able to get it.
You guys do a great job over there.
Yes.
Tell them
Okay,
to
thank
take
you,
on
Tom.
engineering and surveying.
Okay.
Doug and I can find more employees.
Well, we are gonna, I'm gonna see how the timing works out, but hopefully we're going to actually have the horticulture classes do the majority of the landscaping on the project.
Oh, that'd be
Good.
good. That'd be great.
Yeah, great. All right, well, thank you. As far as old business, we did have a work session for the PUD and residential conservation, but that's still tabled. So are there any other items that anyone would like to bring up tonight?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Hearing nothing, the meeting is therefore adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next meeting will be June 6th, 2023.
June 6th.
Might be warm.
It might be warm. With snow.
Yeah.
And it might not be.